Now, you'll remember that the last time we met, the daughter had just died from eating too much sausage. I shouldn't laugh, though, because she did die, and so did her mother. And if you'll remember, the stepdaughter, who got a load of wonderful possessions and married a prince, she died as well. So now we're left with one man who made his way to Genoa, of all places, and he came in to quite a lot of money. How he did so is not important. We don't have the time or budget for making that story. However, he did. He was rich as cream. And he used this money to build a palace, unwisely, opposite the king's palace. And above it, he put in enormous letters, "Money can do everything." And thus begins our story.
Are you the man who this wonderful palace belongs to?
I am the man to whom this palace belongs, yes.
Delightful to meet you. I am the King of Genoa.
In that case, Your Majesty, what you said. But I wouldn't call it wonderful. Not nearly as superfluously magnificent as yours, Your Majesty.
No, your palace is a true wonder. My house looks like a hut compared with it. Congratulations. But tell me, was it your idea to put up the words, "Money can do everything"?
Yes, it was. But if Your Majesty doesn't like it, I can easily have the letters stripped off.
Oh, no, I wouldn't think of having you do that. I merely wanted to hear from your own lips what you meant by such a statement. For instance, do you think that, with your money, you could have me assassinated?
The prince realised he'd got himself into quite a tight spot.
Oh, Majesty, forgive me. I'll have the words removed at once. And if you don't like the palace, just say so, and I'll have it torn down too. Or at least I'll move out.
No, leave it the way it is. But since you claim a person with money can do anything, prove it to me. I'll give you 3 days to try to talk to my daughter. If you manage to speak to her, well and good, you will marry her. If not, I'll have you beheaded. Is that clear?
This was very distressing for the prince. He was too distressed even to sleep, to drink, or to eat. The room is dark and dusty, musky even. A shaft of light breaks through the curtains. You can taste the stench of lifelessness. The prince is lying in his underwear on the floor, waiting to die. He is pale and limp. He has grown a castaway beard in a day. A door creaks and a hunching shadow enters. It's the nurse. She's surprised to see him like this, but has absolutely no time for nonsense. Hang on. Sorry, those were just the stage directions. Bugger! Anyway, enter Nursey.
Prince! Oh, lamentable day! He's dead! Deceased! He's dead! Alack the day!
No, nurse, not dead, but wishing that I were. Oh, nurse, I really have made the most infernal boob.
Well, that's no reason to be lying in your undergarments. What was it I always said to you as a child? If a king's not chopped your head off for insulting his wealth and position...
There's always something you can do to improve the situation. I know. But this honestly seems like I'll never get out of it. The king's going to chop off my head if I don't speak to his daughter in the next 3 days. All because I said money could do everything.
He sounds feisty. Does he have a male nurse?
Don't be so silly, Nursey. They don't exist, at least not in this lifetime. Oh, which will soon be over if I don't speak to the king's blasted daughter. I don't even know if I want to speak to her. I've heard that her dad is so overprotective.
So? And you're giving up just like that? You make me laugh. I'll see what I can do about all this. I'll be needing some of that money you've been so snidely counting. I'll be gone a few hours. Now, for pity's sake, put some sodding trousers on.
The wonderful and resourceful nurse took that money and used her connections. The plan was simple. The stakes were high, exactly the kind of conditions under which Nursey thrived. We join her visiting the silversmith, a man with whom she has a highly suspicious friendship.
Silversmith, I need a favour.
Must it be today, nurse? I've little silver left to exchange. Especially after last time.
No, you fool. Once was enough. I need you to build me something. I need you to build me a goose, a giant silver goose. It must be solid and open and close at the bill. It must be as big as a man and hollow inside. It must be ready tomorrow.
Tomorrow? You're crazy.
Tomorrow, I said. Think it over. This is the down payment. I'll give you the rest tomorrow when you deliver the goose.
That makes all the difference in the world. I'll do my best to have the goose tomorrow.
The prince has not yet changed out of his underwear, but after cracking a couple of windows, the nurse and silversmith don't seem too bothered. In their lines of work, one assumes they see a lot of naked princes. I consider it one of the perks of my work that I see relatively few. I see a lot of man-sized silver geese, though, and that is exactly what everyone in this room was looking at. The prince is largely unsure of the plan and how and why he fits into it. Oh, balls. I forgot to mention earlier that the prince plays the violin. That's about to be important.
Silversmith, this surely is a goose of beauty. Your expert reputation is well founded. I have to say, I don't fully understand why you have made me a giant silver goose, though.
Your princeness is most kind. I have to say, I don't fully understand either.
Of course you don't. You're both men. If it wasn't for your immense wealth and your skill with a silver hammer, you'd both have had your heads removed. Take your violin and get into the goose. Play as soon as we reach the road.
So, Nursey, now we've got the room to ourselves.
Don't even think about it.
Got it.
Have you tuned it?
Can you...
Oh,
do it?
fuck me. Look, hand it over.
Now, in this bit, I want you to imagine the prince, dressed as a giant silver goose, is walking down the road, sort of promenaded by either side by the nurse and the silversmith and various courtiers and Middle Ages stuff that's happening. And he's playing the violin through the goose, and he's playing it well or badly. I mean, you can hear the crowd. You judge for yourself what it sounds like. And now we zoom out and up into the princess's tower, where she's being kept against her will, remember, and enter Princess.
Oh, it is so deliriously miserable up in this tower. I do wish Father would stop using me as a bargaining chip in his
dick swinging contests.
You called for me, my dear.
Oh, Father, you have heard of this beautiful silver violin-playing giant goose doing the rounds?
Yes, I have. I haven't understood the attraction personally. Sometimes I wonder what kind of kingdom I preside over that gives way to metal maestro geese. But what of it?
Well, Father, I would very much like to go down and see it. You know how I've always loved musical wading birds.
Time's up for the boastful prince tomorrow. You can go out and see it then, understood?
Yes, I understand. You'll stay here until I get back tomorrow after seeing the goose.
No, you wait here until tomorrow when you can go and see the goose.
So I wait here until you bring the goose.
Stop! This joke has already been done in the 1970s.
When?
Never mind. Don't see that goose today.
But I heard that it would be gone by tomorrow.
In that case, my dear, I shall have it brought inside this castle so you can see it for yourself without leaving your room.
And exit king. Close the door, pause. And enter king, followed by goose. King leaves, door closes.
I say, you wouldn't mind opening this bead cut for me, would you? So I can get out?
Holy shit! You took as well! Jesus.
Don't be afraid. I'm the prince who must either speak to you or be decapitated by your father tomorrow morning. You can say you spoke to me and saved my life.
I wish I could say that they immediately fell into each other's arms and had hours of goose-free conversation. But the princess was far too taken aback by the whole ordeal. The atmosphere was, well, awkward. As expected, to be honest. I was once bitten by a mallard, and there wasn't much conversation after that, either. Maybe it's a bird thing. Anyway, the prince packed up almost immediately and left, leaving only his address behind him.
Your Majesty, good morning! How delightful to see you! To what do I owe this pleasure?
Well, did your money make it possible for you to speak to my daughter?
Yes, Majesty.
What? Do you mean you spoke to her?
Ask her, Majesty.
Morning!
Darling, what are you doing? Oh.
It's true, Father. This man was craftily concealed inside that enormous musical goose that so bewildered the town yesterday. When you left the room, he leapt out. And though the conversation was a little one-sided, he did speak to me.
That means you not only have money, but also a fine head. I believe that I promise you this crown. Live happily, for I am giving you my daughter in marriage.
Oh, great. Thanks. Isn't there a big ceremony and stuff where all this gets presented? Like at the end of A New Hope?
No, I'm off. Goodbye.
And that is how these two found themselves married and in charge of a kingdom. A kingdom that would go on to provide such ridiculous hijinks as a devil with a silver nose, a thieving dove, and a visiting sultan who had a very itchy foot. The king never resurfaced, not even for bank holidays. I feel perhaps he was never suited too well to ruling if he gave his crown to a violinist in a goose costume. Perhaps the prince perfectly suited ruling in such a nonsensical world. Who knows? The next chapter of silliness picks up a wee bit further down the line. We'll leave them for now to enjoy their honeymoon. Period. Oh, their honeymoon period.